Then the next side of that is to make sure that they have outcomes, so that they have something that they feel that they can take ownership of, whether that's a project or whether that's set of tasks in the day. And I know a lot of employers are relatively good at that. They are good at assigning someone as you're responsible for this, but then being clear about what that means down to a weekly level. So whether that's the employee needs to be emailing bosses and saying, right, I think this week we're going to get these things done, and that will mean that we're on track. That way there's a bit more of a conversation being had about what those outcomes should look like, especially if you're allowing the employee, I mean, they're the expert in their task and their role, allow them to say, I reckon we can get this done by the end of this week. You're giving them the space to make those own decisions. They're not going to, there's very few employees out there who would deliberately add a week on just to drag things out so they've given themselves more time. The vast majority of us, would do the opposite. We'd be more optimistic with how soon we can get things out. Having a clear and open conversation about outcomes so that everyone knows what's got to get done and it's measurable, so that an employer can see, oh, well, I let that employee be flexible, but they've achieved all of their outcomes and they've actually done a little bit more of than what they should have done. And this is a brilliant job and I'm really happy. That doesn't have to happen for long. Those habits don't need to be formed for long before employers feel better and employees are feeling better. And that might mean that maybe management needs to go through some training, or you need to bring someone in to have a look at what procedures you've got in place, what structures you've got in place for providing employee feedback and that kind of thing as well. So that it's no longer being measured by how many hours you've sat behind your desk. It's now being measured by outcomes and have you achieved those outcomes.